Okay, so this week was so fucking funny. All right, so this week we are discussing Martin Scorsese's The Departed. All right, so this week we are discussing Martin Scorsese's The Departed, a 2006 American crime thriller film. This is actually a remake of a 2002 Hong Kong film called Infernal Affairs that Willem Monahan wrote a screenplay for, and then Scorsese was approached to direct. It's got a star-studded cast. We've got Leonardo Dicaprio, Matt Damon, Jack Nicholson, Mark Wahlberg, Martin Sheen, a bunch of other names. A lot of people in this movie. This is set in Boston, and it follows a sort of like a cat and mouse chase between a dirty cop and an undercover cop. It's going to be a lot of fun to discuss. There's a lot that goes on in this film. There are themes of identity and acceptance, and like I was getting some Catholic guilt vibes. I don't know if you got those, but we'll discuss this during the episode.
Yeah. Yes, I'm very excited to discuss this movie. It's got quite a story, which we'll talk about as far as how it got made. But none of that really matters.
Yes, it does.
No. None of it matters. Only one thing matters. Only one question matters, Zach. And that is... Oh, sorry, I messed it up. But is The Departed good?
We're going to find out today.
Let's do it right now.
Definitively, once we determine the case is closed, the file is deleted, and it's a done deal.
Done deal. All right. Shall we?
We shall. But is it good podcast? Yeah.
All right, welcome to the podcast.
Welcome.
My name is Hunter Callahan, and I'm your host.
And I am your host, and my name is Zach Olson. See how I switched the order there, just to make myself stand out a little bit. And this is the
Is
but.
it my turn? But, oh, sorry, let's start over. Try it again. Here we go.
This is the but.
Is it?
You said two words. Start over.
You said one. You said but.
Right. So you say one.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Come on.
Try it again. One more time. Here we go.
This is the but.
Is
it
good
podcast.
Yes. I feel like you got more words than I did. I'm kind of jealous.
It just lines up that way.
It is.
If you take initiative next week, you can get more words.
Okay, I'll do that next time. Zach, how are you? Welcome to the podcast, everybody. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm just now finally getting over whatever like bug I've had, like sinus infection, whatever it's been. I have a little bit of a cough, but I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm in a mood today where if somebody coughs, I get it in a really, really angry like tantrum. Fuck. I'm just kidding. I'm good. I got back. I went to Charlotte this past week. Got back the other day. And I saw Christine. Do you know her? Christine Mobley?
Mm-hmm.
It's not her last name anymore, but I saw her and her wife. We had dinner. It was a lot of fun. And, yep, got a busy week ahead, but we're all good, man. We're just trucking along, you know? Why are you nodding like you don't care? You're nodding like you're nodding like you just, yes, you...
No, I'm not. I'll be in like a work meeting, Hunter, and we'll have our laptops. Like we'll be in the office, but we'll have our laptops, and someone will message me on our little like messaging system and be like, "Why the fuck are you nodding?" And I just do it. Like if someone's talking and I'm like registering what they're saying, I'm going,
So I hate people like you.
Do you? It's not that I'm not listening. It's actually that I'm actively engaged.
I don't hate them, but I do sometimes. I'll see some people like at work who will like, you know, like if you're at a meeting, you're just like that person's not listening at all, right? and then you'll hear them go like a and you're like, that's bullshit. That's straight bullshit, and you know it. Like,
See, but people think that about me. That's when I'm actively listening. If you see me just like stone staring at you, there's nothing going on in my brain. I'm thinking about like the new Mortal Kombat game that's about to come out, right? Like I'm not engaged. If I'm nodding and I'm saying I'm actually listening.
Good to know. I hope it's true. What was that? We hope you guys enjoyed our mystery episode last week. I'm sure we'll work out the kinks as we go along. We had a good time doing it. And this week we're doing the Departed.
You did good.
Thank you. I'm not very good at accents except like British, and even that's probably shit.
Give me a British accent.
I don't want to. I'm on the spot. I'm too embarrassed.
Say 24 shillings for a slice of cod.
No, I'm not going to do that. But we're doing The Departed, Martin Scorsese, whatever you want to say. I say
Scorsese?
I've heard that before. I always say Martin Scorsese.
Who says Martin Scorsese?
I've heard videos like on YouTube say Martin Scorsese. I'm like, that sounds wrong. It feels wrong in my ears.
You know, people will mispronounce stuff on purpose for engagement.
Probably. So
no, I'm not. It's not a probably. It's a thing. It's a tactic.
Should we do bad? Should we do like bad Boston accents to see if we'll get more engagement?
Maybe, but we have to post the clips. That's the whole point, right? You post the clip, and people are like, they don't know how to do that. So that's why I'm trying to get you to say 24 shillings for a slice of cod.
I'm not gonna do that. Oh man. Please like and subscribe. You know, just all that stuff, man. All that stuff. Mm-hmm. Just do it. Just make your dreams come true. Just do it. Do you know what I'm referencing? Do you know what I'm talking about when I say that? It's a video.
Shia
LaBeouf. Yeah. Just do it.
Just crush the egg of life and do it.
Zach, do you have anything else to add before we go down this rabbit hole? This rat hole, if you will?
Why?
I don't know. I took a chance there. It didn't work out.
Rat hole sounds so gross. Like, it reminds me of the part in the movie where Jack Nicholson says, he's so hot for me, if you just give him a whiff of my ass, he'll crawl right in it.
Yeah.
Rat hole.
Have we always laughed like old men? Is that... I feel like as a kid, I always thought it was strange how grown men, when they laughed, no sound came out, or just like wheezing. And now I feel like that's all I do.
No, I don't think that's a new thing. Because do you remember, this was years ago. We were probably like 23, 22. And we went to your cousin Lindsay's house for a party. And I was laughing. And I was like, do you remember that?
Oh, no, that would have been farther back. That would have been like 19 or 20.
No. It was not 19 or 20.
Really?
We had been out of high school for like 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
So maybe.
So the answer is that we've always been like this.
I have. I've always like. I remember being in middle school and like, you know, you have like a sleepover and then you laugh so hard that there's no noise at all and you're both just like. You're literally dying. You're oxygen deprived, and you can't, you know, and you pass out, and you wake up, and your kidney's gone. And that was middle school.
Good times, huh?
You remember that?
Totally. Every middle schooler has that rite of passage. Anyway, The movie. First reactions. Zach, do you want to start, or wait? This is your episode. You tell me what to do. I don't want to have to.
Okay, so at this point, we should probably do first reactions. Hunter, do you want to start?
What a great idea. Yeah, sure. So I realized when I was watching this that I'd only actually seen this movie one time, and it was like 12 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, so I knew enough about it to kind of like, it feels familiar, right?
Okay.
But I'd like forgotten a ton. Like I kind of knew the players and kind of knew like kind of how it ended. But not even all about how it ended. But I really, really love this movie. I I think it's just super intense. I think that the entire cast is on their A game. I think it's one of Scorsese's Scorsese. Excuse me, Scorsese. Marty. I think it's one of Marty's better movies.
Okay, there you go. He likes being called Marty.
Marty, does he really? That makes sense for some reason. But no, I think it's awesome. I love the intricate kind of like timelines and the different story arcs and how they kind of all intertwine, and the tiny little details. And I like a movie like this when it's airtight and it really kind of lines up correctly. And then in the end, it's also so satisfying, but also super irritating, like in a productive way, like in a way that's like, like you were rooting for somebody. I think it's great.
Cool.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm intrigued by the irritating, because like
maybe irritating is the wrong word.
I don't know if I've ever seen a movie that ended in a way that this one did, and I was like, man, that irritates me.
I think maybe irritating is the wrong word.
I'm irritated right now, but we can unpack that. For me, and this is going to sound weird because of the subject matter of the film, this is like a comfort movie to me.
Really?
Like, yeah, like
I watched
this.
Psychopath? Is that why you're?
I don't think so. I don't know. It's just such a cool mixture of like this back and forth between two. It's like Heat, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's very different than Heat, but it's like this like cat and mouse chase between this criminal and this guy who's trying to do good. The comedy, I think, is just hilarious. It hits throughout. Like, there's no point in time where it doesn't hit really well for me. The ending is just phenomenal, in my opinion. It's not necessarily what you want to happen, but it's it's a good thing when films do that sometimes, right?
Yep.
I don't know. I just think this is like when I see a movie with either Leonardo DiCaprio or Matt Damon in it, I think back to this performance, because this is like their ultimate movie for me that they're in. Like this is one of my favorite films. So if that gives you a hint towards whether or not this is a good film or not,
you have to wait till the end of the episode.
You gotta wait. You gotta wait.
I don't think we've given anything away. They have no idea how we're leaning. We could be like, this is the worst film ever made, and they would never know.
Sure.
But one thing that you have to do, my good sir, is you have to do a movie in a minute.
That's right. What is that again? That's where I have 60 seconds to talk about the movie. Tell the audience.
Yeah, so listen, we had this idea, and we thought, no one's ever done this before. And we didn't do any research to see if that was true. But we thought, let's do a movie in a minute. And it'd be, our patented trademark thing. Mm-hmm. Basically, Zach, I'm telling you just in case you forgot as well, because we didn't do it last week.
Yeah, so I have a condition. I forget things.
Okay. Well, you have exactly 60 seconds to describe the entire movie.
The whole movie?
The whole movie. And you have to be as detailed as you can.
Okay.
And here's the thing. You don't get, like, extra points if you do it in 45 seconds. Actually, you get kicked out. You get penalized if you do it shorter. You have to use exactly 60 seconds. No more, no less. And you have to tell the entire movie. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Are you listening? You're not nodding. So, like, I don't know if you're
sorry, there were sirens outside. I was checking to make sure.
Did somebody, like, is someone's car rolling down the street again? And
oh, God. A couple nights ago, I heard sirens, and I saw a bunch of activity over in that area. And I was like, oh, I wonder what happened. I think it was that. So there was someone got in a wreck and got out of their car, and it was late at night. It was like 3 a.m. They had probably been drinking. There's a lot of college kids that live over in this area. And they got out of their car and just didn't put it in park, and it just rolled away, hit a wall. Like, it's very good that no one was around because it was the middle of the night. But anyways, I heard sirens.
Yeah. Well, do you feel ready to partake in this Very. It's a massive honor. So you need to be prepared.
Yeah, I think I'm ready.
Okay, cool.
I think I'm ready.
Go nuts.
You. I can't think of what he says. It was so like drilled into my brain from The Flash. What does he say? You want nuts?
You want to get nuts?
Oh, you want to get nuts?
And then you pause. And then you pause for dramatic effect, for the audience.
Let's get nuts.
For the audience to gather their thoughts and get ready to clap. And then you say, "Let's get nuts."
Let's get nuts. Do you like? Are you just a peanut guy, or do you prefer?
I like almonds.
Okay.
Hey, look, the Braves are winning.
I can't have walnuts. What happened?
RCL homer 2-1.
Let's go. I can't have walnuts. I'm allergic to them.
But I like peanuts mostly. I like peanut butter. Man, I'm a straight slut for peanut butter.
You're a slut for peanut butter?
Yes.
All right, that's a clip. That's a clip that's going on Instagram.
I am. I love it.
That's also going on a T-shirt. Peanut butter slut. With your face on it.
Hannah made some chocolate peanut butter cupcakes. Bruh, Get the fuck out of here, man. They're incredible.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll go be a slut for that later. What are you doing, Zach?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have food being delivered.
Oh my gosh. Do we need to pause it?
No, it's delayed. That's what I was checking to see the notification. Okay, I'm ready.
Let's do it. You have 1 minute.
Okay, you ready?
If the food arrives before you're done, you don't get to eat it.
This is The Departed. Movie in a minute. In 3, 2, 1, go. All right, we're in South Boston. You've got Frank Costello, who's like this mob boss. You've got Sullivan. You've got Costigan. You've got a couple other guys. So Sullivan is like this do-good, like smart kid who goes up in the ranks. It becomes like a state police officer, detective, and he's like crooked, right? He's working for Costello. Then you've got Costigan, who had a troubled childhood, went through the police academy, and he's told, based on the statistics, you're not going to make it 4 years. You're going to go back to a life of crime. Please work for us. We promise you won't get killed. That's Quinnen and Dignam that say that. So there's this back and forth between them, like trying to figure out. So Costigan gets inserted into Frank Costello's like posse, and they're doing crimes and stuff, and they're trying to figure out who the rat is and who the rat is. There's 2 rats, in the police force. Anyways, they all die. They all get shot, except for Dignam. And also Quinnen doesn't get shot. He gets thrown off a building. That's a minute. How was
amazing. That? Perfect.
My headphones disconnected right in the middle of that, so I can't hear you, so give me a second.
You're fine. It sounded amazing. It sounded amazing on my end.
All right, I'm back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that good? I said that was the worst one you've ever done.
Was it?
No.
Did the audio cut out?
No, it sounded great. Cool. You did great. Great job.
Cool. It's like 30 seconds in, my headphones disconnected, and I was like, fuck, I hope that doesn't mess things up.
Nah. So it records locally, so unless it just switched the mic to your headphones, which it shouldn't have.
Yeah.
It sounded great.
That's what I was thinking it could have done. Sweet.
I could hear you. Okay, cool. Let's do this thing. Yeah?
Yeah.
So Boston. They're in Boston.
See, why are you trying to... You disclaimed that you're not good at the accent, and now you're trying to do it anyways.
I'm not, but was it good? How was it? Bad?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not from Boston, but I probably wouldn't say Boston, because they don't say Boston. They say I'm from Boston down at the harbor, stuff like that.
I wonder where I got Boston.
I don't know. I mean, it
Mark
could
Wahlberg.
It could be correct, but yeah, no, I go for the Mark Wahlberg accent for sure.
Gotcha. First off, I love Boston, so I hope no one takes offense to that. I think it's a really cool city. Why do you think... So it starts off with like this monologue from Frank, right? And he's like walking in the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think he was trying to be like? When I say he, I mean like old Marty here. Was he trying to like hide the fact that it was Jack Nicholson?
No, it's
Okay,
clear.
'cause, yeah,
it's
I was
clear
like-
from the first second that,
But
that
he's
Jack
like-
Nicholson is like narrating something,
Is
right?
he like in the shadows, or that just like literally it's just he's in the shadows? That's just what it is.
He's a criminal, right? So think about late in the film, and I'm not going to give any spoilers because I do think we should go through this. We should unpack this
Okay.
as
Also,
the film goes
spoilers.
along.
Spoilers ahead. You kind of
But-
spoiled it already, but whatever.
Later in the film, Costigan is talking to Sullivan directly, and he says, I'm not afraid of the light.
Mm-hmm.
So there's literally like this light and shadow thing going on here, right?
And he's lurking in the shadows.
He is, because he's a crime boss of some kind. But it sounded like, I don't know if you caught this, but it sounded like there was like someone else that was above Jack Nicholson's Costello.
I was trying to listen to that early monologue because it sounded like he was explaining like how it all worked and like Providence and that kind of stuff. And it's mentioned some later, but it's not like a huge factor. We don't see anybody else above Frank, do we?
Right. No, we don't see anybody. But like when they were doing the debriefing, when oh God, why am I so bad with names?
Is it Alec Baldwin?
Yeah. When Ellerby, the captain, is like debriefing them on, everybody. They're like, we've got Mr. French, and we've got this guy and that guy, and then of course we've got Costello. But it seemed like they were all working for someone else who they were trying to get.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I don't know. So you know that he's based off Whitey Bulger, right? Bulger.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen Black Mass? That movie?
No, I haven't seen Black
Enjoying that?
Mass.
It's quite good. So yeah, this is, and then what's his face? Matt Damon's character is based off of somebody else who was real.
Sullivan's based off of John Connolly, who was
that's right.
a corrupt FBI
So,
agent.
as you said, I do have one note for you. I apologize to do this on air, but it's based off a movie called Infernal Affairs, not Internal Affairs.
Oh shit!
I know, we gotta start over. So it's
We're-
based.
we really are redoing the intro because that's
We can. It's fine.
we're gonna redo the intro.
So it's based off of that movie, but also who was the guy that you said his name? The guy who wrote it, William Monahan.
William Monahan.
He kind of incorporated the real life story of like Whitey Bulger and stuff. Bulger,
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to say his name. But yeah, so we start and we kind of hear this monologue and he goes into this little diner or grocery store or whatever and asserts his dominance, of course, like he has leverage over the shop owner. And is just an absolute, I don't even know what the word would be, just the worst to his daughter. And then that's when he meets Colin, correct? Like young Colin.
Yeah. Right, and he says, "You're blah blah blah's kid, right? Get him some. You live with your grandma. Give him some bread and some soup, and here's some money and a magazine. And if you want to make any more money, come see me down on L Street or something like that."
Mm-hmm. And then we get the little montage of him growing up. And then we cut to the police academy, correct?
Yeah, and they're training and they're doing stuff and they're running and they're pow, pow. He's doing rugby. And then we meet Costigan, Leonardo Dicaprio. What are you doing?
I'm cleaning off a smudge from my screen.
Okay, because you're just like shaking so
I'm
much.
just shaking my computer.
And I just see your arm moving like this and the screen shaking. And I'm like, I did not consent to this. So I just wanted to know what you were doing.
There was a smudge on my screen.
Cool. Costigan is also going through the academy, but he's like this, like he looks tortured, like from the outset, right? Like he looks like he's seen some shit, and he's whereas Sullivan is just like this super
Boy Scouty.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a line later. This is not going to spoil anything. I know that you weren't going to go through it, but there's a line later because we learned that Costigan, like his dad, was like the only one in his family who like wasn't a criminal. Like his Uncle Jackie, is that what they say his name is? Uncle Jackie. Got killed from the mob, and then like he had another uncle who was whatever, some of that cousin or something. His cousin's a drug dealer, whatever. And so Costigan kind of comes from a family that has a lot of baggage to it and a lot of like ties to the mob and criminal underground.
And he has a history of violence, like getting in fights and stuff, right?
Okay, yep. And then Sullivan has like a spotless record.
Right,
And
immaculate record.
There's a line
just
later,
like Alec Baldwin.
Exactly. So like Alec Baldwin, he like appoints him to find the mole or the rat. He's like, people always say to not trust somebody with an immaculate record, but I do because I have an immaculate record, so I that. So they really couldn't be two like more different characters. But here's where we kind of see that like it seems like what's his name? What's Matt Damon's name? Sorry, I can't remember now. Sullivan.
Matt Damon.
When it seems like Sullivan's fast-tracked through everything too, which I'm guessing is ties. It's Frank has connections and pulls the strings or whatever.
Well, sure, because he's an FBI informant. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler. But he's fast-tracked to like this. Was it the special investigations unit, SIU? And
after making state police, which is already like an accomplishment, I guess.
Yeah.
Like they're supposed to be like higher than local police departments, I guess. I don't know.
States.
Anyways.
Let me ask you this, and this is just more like a matter of fact. They both interview with Queenan and Dignam.
I think it's Quenin and Dingham.
I see Dignam right here with an N. Digman.
Okay.
Dignam. They both interview with them. Why was Sullivan interviewing with them? Is that to become part of the SIU? Is that what it was?
No. The first thing that Quenin says to him is, "You're not going to be working directly for me, but I like to meet everyone here."
Oh, okay.
It's
you're
because
right,
they basically do like internal investigations, right? They're looking for rats and they're doing like the subterfuge work, right? So he wants to meet everybody.
You're right. I got you. Because that's when they first almost meet, is when like he walks out of the office and like Costigan's just like sitting in the chair waiting to go next.
Yeah.
But I also love I love how they carry themselves just, like so differently. You know, like Sullivan's got this like cocky like
right.
Or he like walks by and he's like, "Hey, honey," you know, he's kind of a tool, frankly.
Well, and that was apparent when they were in the academy too, right? Because Sullivan is like playing football or rugby or whatever they were playing. He's like, "Fuck you, fucking firefighters!"
Yeah.
Like, fuck off. He says a lot of the F word in this film.
There's like 200 F words in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then Costigan is the better. He's the better cop, you know. But someone says later that he didn't even graduate from the academy, but he did, didn't he? I thought he did.
Yes. Maybe. I mean, I don't know how this shit works. It could be a thing where he wasn't fully, like, he had graduated, but he was still like in training or something, and that's when Quenin and Dingbat grabbed him.
Yep. Because they give him a record, right? Like he gets arrested, he goes to jail.
Correct. So they're saying, like, based off of everything that we know, you know, you're going to be a criminal in 4 years. You're not going to be a cop in 4 years. Like, we know this to be a fact. And so they give him a choice, and they say, work for us, you know, but you need to be on the inside, so you're going to get arrested. We're thinking, you know, assault would be fitting based on your record, you fuck. Or something like that, right?
Well, if you're trying to emulate how Mark Wahlberg told him this, then yeah, basically that's what he said all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so they give him a record. He starts seeing the therapist. I can't remember if she's like a licensed like psychiatrist or if she's just like a therapist, but she is able to prescribe stuff, so she's got to be a psychiatrist. Anyways, that doesn't matter.
This says police appointed psychiatrist right here. Madeline Madden.
Do you see? She's watching TV right now. Okay.
Who?
Athena, can you see her here?
Yeah.
She's gone now. She's laying down now. But yeah, so that's going on, but that's kind of going on in the background. Like, we don't see him get arrested and stuff, right? We just see him in
jail. We see him in jail,
and someone's like, "Hey, I know your cousin. He's not that smart. no offense. And he's like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not going to take any offense to that. But he does take offense to people who don't like cranberry juice. Because he meets up with his cousin, who I guess is just like some shithead drug dealer in South Boston, and says, like, hey, I have $30,000. If I give you $10,000, what could we get back? They start doing drug stuff. And through that channel, that's when he meets Mr. French.
Mm-hmm.
And he's in the bar, and the dude's like, cranberry juice, that's what my girlfriend drinks when she's on her period. Are you on your period? And he just, like, smashes his head. And then Mr. French says, now I'm just, like, narrating the whole movie, right?
That's fine. Yeah, go for it.
So Mr. French comes up to him and says, I'm the guy that tells you that there's people you can hit and there's people you can't hit. Now, that's not a guy you can't hit, but it's almost a guy you can't hit, right?
Yep.
Now, I'm going to make a fucking ruling on this right now. You're not going to fucking hit him. Okay? You follow me, Hunter?
Yep, I'm following you.
Then he turns around and hits him.
Yep.
That's a power play. I'm Team French. I'm Team Mr. French.
Isn't he the only other guy in the movie that calls him Francis? That calls Frank Francis?
Right, so he's the only one that can. Because when Quentin calls him Francis, he's like, only my mother calls me that.
Francis, yeah.
So it makes me wonder if Mr. French is actually Costello's mother.
Yeah, like undercover, Frank's mom.
Frank's mom.
She's the brains behind the whole thing. Anyway, yeah. I was going to ask something, but I forgot what it was. I was watching something and kind of how this came together in the movie and stuff. And this cast, even though it's perfect for the movie, and I'm coming back to the story, just finding ways, finding little through ways to talk, Anyway, I'll shut up. He originally wanted, like, I want to say it was De Niro. No, it was Pacino to play Frank. But Pacino couldn't do it, so Nicholson came in to play Frank, but wanted Frank to be more evil.
Interesting.
And he originally, when he brought in Matt Damon, it was going to be Brad Pitt. Like, Brad Pitt kind of actually started this whole thing. He, like, helped produce it. I'm not sure if he's listed as a producer.
He is listed as a producer, okay, so he was approached to be Sullivan.
Yes.
And he said,
he wanted like Tom Cruise or whatever. No, it was like originally going to be like him and Tom Cruise, or he wanted Tom Cruise, but when they cast Leo, he wanted somebody younger, right?
Well, so Pitt is the one that said it should be someone younger in this film. Let me help produce it. Let's get, and then one of Martin Scorsese's like associates said, well, let's get Matt Damon, and then let's get I think the associate also said let's get De Niro. But De Niro, I thought De Niro was supposed to play Quentin.
He was. I said Pacino. Pacino was going to be Frank.
Okay.
And De Niro was going to be Quentin.
Okay.
And then it ended up being what's his face? Sheen. But I was going to say on the Matt Damon thing, I was listening to that same video, and they were saying that like when he took on the character, he wanted him to be like the fragile, like alpha, trying to portray as like the big hot shot, got it all together. But he said if you notice, he loses every fight that he's in the movie.
Who? Sorry, we said a
Sullivan,
bunch of names.
Sullivan.
Okay.
So I think that's really interesting.
He's also apparently impotent in some way.
Yeah.
Which makes me think that jumping further in the movie, that the thing that the psychiatrist, Dr. Madeline, the thing that Madeline wanted to tell Costigan was that she was pregnant and that it was his baby.
Yeah.
Because her boyfriend's impotent.
He can't do it.
Shooting blanks.
Shoot blanks. I don't even think that's what that means, though. I took it as like he couldn't even get that far.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, it seemed like you were about to say something.
Or he got there way too fast. They were having issues in the bedroom, right?
Yes, they were having issues.
We can agree on that. So in some way, he wasn't doing it. He wasn't.
speaking of Madeline, so the stress that is caused Costigan for being undercover, he even says like, "I want out, I want to quit," and Mark Wahlberg cusses a bunch of times and punches him and stuff, and they get in a fight. But he's appointed to see Madeline. He's sent to go see her, and he wants Valium, right? And they like hate each other, and then he's like, "Hey, let's get some coffee," and she's like, "Yeah, sure, I have a boyfriend, but okay." So they hit it off. So it's interesting to see how closely tied together Sullivan and Costigan really are. And they don't actually meet till the very, very end, right?
That is correct, as far as I know. Like, they don't meet face to face until, well, I don't think they speak to one another until Quentin calls him on Martin Sheen's phone. Or not Quentin. Sullivan calls him on Quentin's phone.
Yes. I thought well, we'll get to that point in just a little bit. I really enjoyed the moments of like, because this is always fascinating to me, of like, how would you do this if you're like a crooked cop, right? If you're a cop who's actually, maybe this is what that one guy, what's his name, John Connolly, the guy who with Whitey Burger, they set up a sting with Ellerby and the FBI and stuff because Frank's he's selling a bunch of these microprocessors that are used in weapons or something like that to Hong Kong.
Is it the FBI? Is the FBI involved? I thought they were like off screen pretty much the whole movie.
I thought
we just knew that.
I thought that they showed like a couple of them, but they never really said much. I thought they were kind of there,
maybe.
But
it makes sense for them to just be there in the periphery to make sure that their informant doesn't get killed.
Sort of just like there, but and this is kind of when they kind of realize that there's there's rats, because they're tipped off about stuff and everything. But I really enjoyed those moments of like, it's really like anxiety inducing of like watching him have to try and catch this guy while simultaneously having to help him not get caught. You know what I mean? But he also acts super sus. So I also don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like when he's on the phone with him, he's like, "Hey, Dad," and then like Sheen walks up and just look at him, and he just like looks terrified. He's like, yeah, so I'll just see you for lunch." You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, there are definitely some things that seems like they could have figured it out at a couple points in the movie on both sides, right? Like I've been thinking about the fact that there are multiple times where Mr. French and Costello are like searching Costigan just to make sure he doesn't have anything on him. But then there's also a lot of points in the movie where they're like doing shady shit, and he's got his like phone that he uses with Quentin, right? So it's like, why didn't they just look at that phone and they could have seen that he was texting him things?
Yeah,
to this random number, and be like, "That's not us. Who the fuck are you texting?"
That's the thing, is that that's like, I think when the first time that we see that, it's both people actually. It's during that sting with the microprocessors,
right? And
where
so
he's got his, like, Sullivan has his hand in his pocket doing it, and then like,
which there's no way.
Yeah, not on those old phones, not even on like a new one,
right?
But then Costigan just like has his hand like behind a pillar,
right?
And he's just like looking, and I was like, bro,
yeah.
But you know, I digress. We digress. But what were you gonna say?
I was just breathing in.
Oh, do you think? When I'm skipping ahead just a little bit, when he's following Sullivan, like when he tracks him down to the adult theater or whatever, you know, and they're watching the thing, and I thought that Costigan sees him.
Well, he sees like a profile.
He turns his head and.
But you can't really ID someone off of a profile. You know what I mean? Like, actually, that'd be hard to do.
Back up. I'm just remembering that like they actually didn't know each other. Like I for some reason thought that in the academy they like kind of knew each other were, but they didn't.
So if he was like given a lineup of like everyone that worked there, maybe he would have been like, well, that it could be that guy. But they're not going to give him that information, right? Yeah. My headphones just disconnected again. I don't know what the poop is happening.
I wonder if they're dying.
Give me just a second.
I wonder if they're dying. Zach can't hear me. Let's talk shit about him. Zach can't hear me. Yeah. Can you hear me yet? Can you hear me yet? Zach, can you hear me yet? Nope, he
I
can't.
connected for like a split second, and then it just disconnected again. Let's see. Let me turn off the Bluetooth on my phone.
Okay, you're
That's
fine.
probably what's doing it.
Hello?
I'm back, baby.
Nice.
Sorry about that.
You're fine. What was being said?
I'm not sure. Honestly, I've been trying to figure out if I'm like dyslexic this whole time because I could have sworn it was Internal Affairs, but it's definitely Infernal Affairs.
It
And
is
that's just
Infernal
like
Affairs.
that's just blowing my mind. I guess it's not something that I've ever heard like said. It's also a like a foreign film, so like even if you watched it, they wouldn't be like, "This is Internal Affairs," right? You'd be, I don't know. Anyways, I just can't read. That's what I've learned today.
So has that been
I
bothering
can't-
you this entire time?
It kind of has. It really has.
You know what's funny is that this is my fault. I should have just told you after we were done, and then we could have just done the intro again, and no one would have ever known.
Yeah.
Instead, we just made a big thing out of it.
Or you could have told me when we were doing the intro and just been like, "Hey, that was great. Can we do it again? Because you said the wrong fucking thing." And then I would have just done it.
No, here's the thing. I wasn't sure. I was like, wait, I thought it was Infernal Affairs. And then later I have my notes up, and I do see
Okay,
that it is
that's fair.
Infernal Affairs.
That's fair.
But this is not why people come to this podcast. They come to us to hear us be idiots.
Oh, well, listen. We're doing that thing today.
That's true. Actually, I guess this is it. This is us being idiots.
Right. That's right.
What was I going to say?
I
Were you
ordered this
sad-
food.
Were you sad when I don't give a shit about your food, Zach?
No, this is funny though. I ordered it from Zaxby's, and I thought it was going to be a Zaxby's like nearby. This guy's out in like Chapel Hill.
Like Chapel Hill, North Carolina?
No, like Chapel Hill, like south of Douglasville, which
That
is
sounds
pretty
awful.
far
Are
away.
there no
My-
Zaxby's near you?
There are. That's not the one that was on the food delivery
Are
service,
you
I
on,
guess.
was it Uber Eats or are you on like...
I'm not
whatever
going to
it's
name
called?
them. They don't need our endorsement. Why did you just name one? Not a sponsor. Sponsor us, Uber Eats.
We both used to work for you, actually. Talking
Okay, let's
DoorDash,
come-
Talking,
let's-
what are we doing? Grubhub.
Let's bring it back in. What did you think about Jack Nicholson's penis?
I thought it looked really fake.
It's a dildo. Yeah.
I know. I'm aware of that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I loved him.
Where do you think it is? Do you think it's like on display somewhere, like the dildo that they used? You know how? Have you seen those ads on? Like I've been getting these ads on Twitter that's like, you can buy props from these famous movies. They're on auction. It's probably recreations because like there's no way that
I've seen those. I've seen those ads before.
that this one company has all these like famous props. But can you imagine if it was like Jack Nicholson's prosthetic penis from The Departed? Spend a bunch of money on it and mount it on the wall. Right above the couch in the living room.
What?
Because it's a piece of history,
I
right?
know. Yeah. That'd be a conversation starter. Hey, what
Yeah.
is? No, it's just Jack Nicholson's.
This Jack Nicholson's prosthetic dildo from The Departed.
He was great in this, man. Like I know we talked a lot about Matt Damon and Leonardo DiCaprio. They both were phenomenal. But like,
Listen, and I'm not a big
Nicholson's a psychopath.
I'm not a big Mark Wahlberg fan, but he did great too. They
Yeah.
all did really, really well in this
Yeah.
in this film. Let's talk about Jack Nicholson.
I think he said that he wanted him to be like the embodiment of evil, and he's just a monster. Like he is just the worst kind of dude ever.
And he did a lot of like improv.
Yeah.
Like he added a lot of stuff. So like it was not in the script that he whips his dick out in the theater.
Really?
That just wasn't a part of the script. He added that. Have you seen the clip? It's an interview that Matt Damon's doing where he talks about the "she fell funny," that scene
No.
where he's like, we were filming this scene, and Jack Nicholson was like, now you could end the scene there, or I could say she fell funny. That's a fucked up thing to say. And it's like, yeah, he's right. That was a fucked up thing to say.
Yeah, like, but that's the thing is that he has this like First off, this kind of movie makes me realize that when he played Joker, he was just playing himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because his like facial expressions, like especially in that famous rat monologue, you know. But he's just like so menacing in this like effortless way, where he's just like nonchalant about like he's a monster, and the like how little he cares about everybody else, which is shown by that line of like, she fell funny. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't care that he just blew somebody's head off. He's like, why'd
That's
she
the
fall?
point, right?
Yeah, like why'd she fall like that?
He does it so often, right?
Yeah.
That's what he notices, that she fell funny.
And then when he is talking to Billy early on, and when he's joining the ranks, and he just like takes that severed hand out of the bag, just like doesn't miss a beat, just talking, takes the ring off and like throws the hand away, and like Billy's just like looks horrified. And he's just like, yeah, whatever, you know. It's great.
Good intimidation tactic.
Yeah,
because that's when he goes to the bathroom and rips the wire off. By the way, did he flush the wire? Like,
I don't know.
What did he do with it? Because now they're going to go in the bathroom and be like, what's this wire in the trash can?
What is this?
That's just one of our wires. You know, we have them.
That happens. But I also loved when all three of them, our triad of people, Billy, Frank, and Sullivan. What's Sullivan's for? Colin. They all start to kind of lose their minds. You know what I mean? Like they all start kind of fraying at the end. But I think Frank's like descent is fascinating. He just gets super antsy. He's drawing like the horde of rats on the paper, you know, and he's like interrogating everybody. And then like there's that one scene where he like when he tells Billy to have the night off, he like comes out just covered in blood. He's like, "No, you're good, man. Just going home. You know.
Yeah,
I've got some new guys tonight. No worries."
Again, that was probably like an intimidation tactic. Of like, one, you're not on this job, and two, I definitely just killed somebody, so y'all go home. You have job security.
Yeah, you know the like rap monologue scene where when he pulls out that gun, he like drops it first and pulls it out. Apparently, that was all improvised, and like Leonardo didn't know he was going to do that or anything like that. Obviously, not like a real gun, but like
sure.
That like nervousness in his eyes and Leo's eyes is kind of like a real reaction. We're like, what the hell's going on here?
Right.
That's brilliant.
It is. I love little organic moments like that.
Yeah, and like even when he dies, like I don't know, there's just this like there's a sense of like he believes he's invincible, you know, like he's never gonna get got. And of course, it's so fitting that he's obsessed with finding this rat, and he has a rat in the police department, when in reality he himself is a rat. Like he's an FBI informant and gives people up all the time.
But he maintains up to his death that he never gave up anyone who wasn't going down anyways.
But like, what does that even mean? To him, that can mean anything.
Yeah, I mean...
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Also, do you think the guy... I know we're kind of skipping around a little bit. The guy, I forget his name. What is his name?
The cop? The guy who's dying on the couch?
Yes, the guy that's dying on the couch. Do you think he's actually, he was actually an informant?
I don't... It makes sense. I don't know, because he doesn't seem like he's like angry at Costigan when he puts two and two together. When he says, right, like, I gave you the wrong address on accident, but you showed up anyways. And he's like, why didn't you tell anybody? He's not mad, right? I guess he's dying, so he doesn't really care anymore.
Yeah.
But it also wouldn't really make sense, because at first you kind of start thinking like, oh, he's saying, why didn't you tell anybody? Like, why didn't you tell any of the other informants? But they wouldn't know who the hell each other are. So like, what do you mean? Why didn't I tell you? You know. So I don't know. I don't know if it. I don't know if he was actually an informant, or if, like Costello says, they just said he was, so that
they'd stop looking.
Right, to throw him off the scent, the rat scent from going up his ass.
Were you sad when Queenan died? For some reason, I forgot that he died completely.
Shocked, for sure.
Really? Queenan?
Yeah,
Queenan,
he's thrown off a fucking building.
Yeah, Queenan.
Anytime someone's thrown off a building, it's pretty shocking to me.
Queenan Dignam and Costigan were like my favorite little trio. I was rooting for them.
Okay.
I mean, obviously because they're like the good guys, really.
Sure.
But yeah, that's when like at that point Sullivan had been put in charge of finding himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess, what do you do at that point? Because you got to find somebody. He was trying to find somebody to pin it on.
Sure. Well, he's got to look busy. It is interesting. I wonder what he was doing like day to day, just like in his office, just like fucking off, and then he was just gonna pin somebody like at the end of the week. You know what I mean? Like what was he doing?
Do you think? Oh, excuse me. Yawn. No, I'm skipping around too much. But that's when kind of shit all starts kind of to go south, right? Queenan's dead. Dignam gets told to leave. He
resigns.
He quits. Yeah, right. He quits.
2 weeks with pay.
When Sullivan calls Costigan.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what I was going to ask you. Never mind.
Well, hold on. What happened?
I forgot what I was going to say. I had a point I was going to make, but I forgot what it was. Okay, hold on. Do you think he was saying, like, he was like, we need you to come in. We need you to come in. Do you think he was trying to just, like, end the whole operation, or was he going to come, like, bring him in, turn him in, and get him killed, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was trying to get him to come in so he could identify him. Then he would call up. He'd get on the phone and say, "Dad, the rat is Leonardo Dicaprio," and then hang up the phone. Yeah, that's exactly what I think he was trying to do.
Sorry,
which is interesting. It's interesting though because later on, it doesn't make sense to me when he finally does come in, right? And he's like, "How long have you been in the field? You know, blah blah blah. I'm going to recommend you for the Medal of Honor." Why does he need to go look up his file to put 2 and 2 together? Like, doesn't he know? Like, he's like, "I just need the password." And he's like, "The password's my name." And then he takes that and goes in the back room and then, like, looks at his file. Why does he even need to do that at that point? Does that question make sense?
I thought he was, like, it was something about, like, restoring his identity.
Well, he said he was going to do that, but he wants him dead. That's the only person that can pin him as the rat potentially, right? If he figures it out later, or if he figures it out now, which he did. So, like, what? So what
Keep
changed?
Talking. I'm reading something. I'm gonna see if I can figure out your question.
What changed? Well, I'm asking you a question. So if you're not paying attention to me, you might not.
Well, no. It's about yours. This doesn't actually really say. It's just saying that Sullivan goes to a different room. I don't know. It's something about, like, he needed something. He needed to get into his file to complete some sort of process for him to be done, and his computer wasn't working or whatever.
But then he goes back and deletes it. He deletes the file, right?
Yeah, they say something about that later, to be like, he says, like, I erased you,
right,
or something.
But then he's erased from the system, so he's not an officer anymore. He doesn't exist. He gets a fucking police officer funeral. How?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Interesting. Well, if Sullivan's, like, in charge, he'd be like, oh, that was a mistake. He needs to be honored or whatever.
Okay, yeah, maybe. I was so fucking angry when he was like, just to be clear, I want to recommend him for the Medal of Honor after he's dead. I have another question, right at the end part there, for you. Mm-hmm. When the other guy comes in and shoots Corrigan, so he's dead. Costigan, so Costigan's dead.
Which
and
is
he
a
shoots
gruesome death. That's such a sad, just out of nowhere, dude. Anyway, go on.
Yeah. Have you seen, no, I'm not going to go on a tangent. There's another death that's like that. That is a movie that Brad Pitt's in, and it just reminds me of that. Anyways.
What movie is it?
Burn After Reading.
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay. It's a Coen Brothers film. It's hilarious.
Is that where that like bike gif is from, where he's like dancing?
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know a few things about it, but I haven't seen it now.
I like that film. I'm not going to spoil anything. Someone gets
Okay.
shot in the head,
Okay.
and it's just like, boom, they're
It's
they're
like,
dead.
What?
You know? What was I talking about?
You
What
said
were we talking
you
about?
said when the other guy shows up and shoots him in the head.
Okay, was that his buddy from the academy?
Yes.
So he was an informant the whole time, and he didn't know.
Yeah, I guess
Or
so.
he was also like a plant from
Yeah.
the mob, and how could they not know that each other were? Or how could he, as the lower level guy, know that Sullivan was, but Sullivan didn't know that he was? Does that make sense?
So I think I took that as like maybe he didn't know that it was Sullivan,
But he knew it was somebody.
but like knew that like Costigan was like, oh, he has the rat, and just went to go like just like the other guy, the other cop. What's his name? Berrigan. Wait, no, not Berrigan. Brown. When like Officer Brown is there on the roof, you know, for the same reason, they knew something was going on.
Mhm.
Which Brown, you know, let him go down the stairs because he's like, okay, well, maybe he's right, you know. But then I was surprised when Sullivan shot Berrigan,
Yeah.
you know. But I guess
Right.
that was his out to be like, oh, he was the
You
rat.
got to tighten up all the loose ties.
Yeah.
And that's his out for sure.
Um,
But he didn't bank on fucking Mark Wahlberg with his little socks.
which how do you think he figured it out? Just like his own investigation,
Well,
deduction, or maybe Costigan had told him because who knows how long it had been.
He didn't like Matt Damon from the start. Like he seemed to like sniff him out from the start. He just couldn't prove it. And when you're in that sort of position, you need to prove it. You have to build the case. That's what they were trying to do against Costello, right?
Yeah.
But when he wasn't employed there anymore, he could just shoot him in the fucking head.
Yep.
So he just shot him in the fucking head.
Yeah, that's true. What do you think Costigan gave to Madeline in the envelope?
Probably
like-
the same thing that she opened up and
Like
listened to.
Like
yeah,
proof?
proof of what was going on. Because she's like in a position of not like she's not like a police officer, but like she has credibility, right? She's this like good psychiatrist that works in the field. So he probably gave her because it was like a chunky. It wasn't like a letter.
Yeah, it was
It
chunky.
was like a
Had
chunky
some-
envelope.
It's had some junk in the trunk.
That's right.
But yeah, everyone dies. Everyone's dead. Frank blows up. He blows himself up first. No, not Frank. Frenchie. He shoots himself, then he gets blown up in a car, right?
Yeah. Right.
I love the, and I'm not sure if this was meant to be funny, but it kind of was when they're backing up, and he gets shot. And he's like, "Oh, they
You
shot me! They shot
Yeah.
me!" Just like how could it be? And then Frank dies. And then
Frank
we get,
tries to shoot Sullivan like 6 times and doesn't hit a
misses.
single. I guess he hits maybe the bulletproof vest. But,
maybe.
like if you know someone's wearing a bulletproof vest, I would like aim for the kneecap or like the head. Maybe if I was trying to kill them, I wouldn't aim for the thing that stops bullets.
Yeah, that's true. But then we get the very not subtle symbolism of the rat crawling across the balcony.
Which
in front of the Capitol building. Is it the Capitol building?
yeah, the Capitol building, which Scorsese says that that's not to be taken literally. But how could you not take it literally? That there's a rat. There's a rat.
Is he saying like, oh, the corruption's still there? Or is it just saying like, hey, look, a rat?
A rat. We're all
rat?
maybe we're all a little rat.
We're all just trying to keep it even keel by lying to ourselves.
Crawling in the rat hole.
Get a whip of my ass, will come crawling right in it. Is that what he says?
Something like that, yeah.
He's gross,
And then
man.
his
He's
girlfriend.
gross.
I was happy to learn that because at the first watch and I think the second watch that I had of this movie a while ago, I thought that his girlfriend was that poor girl that he was like harassing at the store when Sullivan was a kid.
No,
It is not.
It's not.
So that's good.
No. When he was like, hey, did you get your period yet? It's like,
Right.
bro, God bless.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Need any cranberry juice?
that's the end of the movie. Anything else you want to add, Zach, before we determine whether or not this is a good movie or not?
Oh, goodness. Let's think. Let's think about this long and hard. You want to take about 30?
Thinking about it long and hard, like Jack Nicholson's dildo.
Good God, Hunter. So crude.
I almost didn't say it.
How dare you?
I almost didn't say it.
Long and hard like Jack Nicholson's dildo. That's also going on a shirt. We should make at least one shirt, maybe multiple, per episode.
Per episode, so it costs a lot
Yeah.
of money. So this one is I'm a slut for peanut butter,
Mm-hmm.
and then long and hard like Jack
No.
Nicholson's.
I think the shirt should just say peanut butter slut, and it's a picture of you, and it's like a peanut butter colored shirt. So it's really
Ew, that's gross. Oh man. Oh man. Anyway,
we're both coughing,
I know.
and they all ended up in a coffin. So that's how we bring it.
Full circle. Amazing.
circle.
Well done. Well, Zach, I have to ask you a very important question. Are you ready? Or are you just gonna ignore me? Like
This
you
is
always
my
do?
ready face. Look at me.
Okay. But is The Departed good?
Yeah, it's really good. It's one of my favorite films. The only deficiency it has is that it's based on a film that I don't know the fucking name of, apparently.
Infernal Affairs.
That's right. Infernal Affairs.
Cool. There you have it. It's a great movie. Phenomenal. I don't know what the cutoff is for the golden oldies, but this is not really an old movie, but it's not a new movie, so maybe this will be a golden good of some sort.
2006. We're within 20 years, so I think it's
So-
out of the running for the golden oldies. I think
fair
an oldie needs to be 20 years or more.
Fair enough. So like Spider-Man 1.
Yeah,
That would count.
yeah, or like one of the Lord of the Rings films. I think all of those.
Wow, that's crazy.
Well, no. Just the first one.
No.
Just no.
No.
Just the first
should we
one.
do Every Movie Sucks?
Yeah, we should. Oh my
Let's
god.
do that, sir. Every movie sucks. I have some. This is from Brew Cruise. Half star. Nothing happens. Watch a real movie like Tommy Boy instead of this one if you like entertainment. Money Pit is also a better option.
I have nothing against Tommy Boy.
These have some good ones.
Good fucking lord. Watch Tommy Boy instead. Have you seen Tommy Boy?
Yes.
I'm filling
Tommy
time.
Callahan?
Yeah, I'm Callahan Auto Parts. That's your company. Give me a second. I'm pulling it up. I didn't have it pulled up.
I'm about to do a second one in a row.
Blood Lung says poop. All right, you can go.
This says, half star by Louis. This film could have only been made by an old white man. And I mean that wholly as an insult.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Inky says, I hated this movie so much. I hate Martin Scorsese for making it. Watch Infernal Affairs instead.
This is Kendall Jean. Half star. Boo. What the F? WTF was that? Said boo. There was no distinguishable plot or importance to either of the main characters' stories. People only like this movie because it's Matt Damon, Leo DiCaprio, Jack Nicholson, and Martin Scorsese. Was extremely dull and lacked density. Did your headphones crap out again? Let's talk shit about Zach. Let's talk shit about Zach. He sucks. Zach. He can't hear me. Can you hear me yet?
I don't know what's going on with my AirPods, but the audio is going like that every like half second.
They're probably
and I have
dying.
No idea. No, they're not. They're at like 80%.
All right. Do you have one more? Then we can be done. Actually, I've got one more, but you can do one more for this. You can do one more first. Oh my gosh. He's walking away. He's storming out. He's so angry.
You there?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Oh, that's much better.
Amazing. Can you do one more review, please?
Oh, yeah. La 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 la. That just scared the shit out of me. She just poked her head up.
Hey, sweet girl.
Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Bob says, you don't have any cats. I like that.
My last one is from Bug Forge. Forg. Half star, The Defarted.
Let's see.
There you go. That's my last one. You can do one more.
I can? I'm allowed to?
You're allowed to. You have my permission just this once.
Cool. I should prepare these ahead of time. Because I got to read them first.
Just pick one. Just pick one.
All right, here we go. Dog shit from start to finish, self-parody at its worst, an assault on musical taste, a serious contender for the most overrated pile of puss. I guess it's puss.
Puss.
A serious contender for the most overrated pile of pus ever puked on screen.
Ever puked on screen?
Yeah, puke and pus.
That's gross. There you go. There you have it. Everybody sucks. You got some news? Some shindigs? We do some shindigs, my friend? Shindig. Here we go. Here's news of the week. Channing Tatum, everyone's favorite stripper, is finally, I'm not sure if you know this, but he has been, oh, sweet girl. She's playing. He was in line and been trying to play the X-Men Gambit for like 10 years.
Okay.
And apparently he's finally going to appear as Gambit in Deadpool 3.
Okay.
We get a new teaser trailer for Bradley Cooper's Maestro. He faced some backlash for the prosthetic nose that he wore, but the family of, I think it's Leonard Bernstein, the family of who the movie's about, the family of him came out and defended Bradley Cooper, saying like, no, it's accurate.
I don't know if he faced backlash, but the movie definitely did, because I don't think he says, put a prosthetic fucking nose on me.
I don't know. He might have. I don't know.
It's just interesting because if you look at pictures of Leonard Bernstein and Bradley Cooper, like they have very similar noses without the prosthetic. So it's sort of a question of like, why was this necessary?
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but it looks good. It looks like a kind of fascinating film. Tron Ares has been delayed due to the strikes. They were set to like start production like this week apparently, but it's getting pushed back indefinitely because of everything going on. A show called Warrior Nun was canceled on Netflix, and then there was a petition that got so big that now it's being made into a trilogy, like a movie trilogy.
Okay. I was wondering why we were talking about some random show. I was like, a bunch of shows have been canceled, but I'm on board now.
And then we get
Warrior Nun.
Our first look at I don't know how to say her name. It's Irish. Saoirse Ronan, and Paul Mescal in the Amazon Studios film Foe. First looked at Emma Roberts, Cara Delevingne, and then Kim Kardashian in the new American Horror Stories posters. Kim Kardashian is going to be in American Horror Story. I don't know if you remember that. Mm-hmm. And then I didn't realize this, but Apple TV is making a Godzilla universe series called Monarch: Legacy of Monsters with what's his face? He plays Ego. The guy from the 80s. I can't think of his name.
He plays who?
He's in The Thing. What's his name?
Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell. Then Kurt Russell's son is also in it. The guy who played it, he was the bad Captain America for 5 minutes in Marvel. It's called Monarch: Legacy of Monsters, and Godzilla's in it, and it's got a first look at that. What are you going to say?
Is it connected to the movies?
Yeah, like it's in the same universe as like Kong and all that kind of stuff. And then apparently Blue Beetle's not shit.
Well, isn't it performing like shit?
Well, I don't know about the box office. I think it was projected to bomb, which that's not going to be a surprise. It was tied with Guardians 3 for the highest rated comic book movie this year. It has since dropped a little bit, but it's certified fresh at 76% with an audience score of 92%.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I'll see it eventually, but hey, good for them for not making a bad movie. I think it's projected to do pretty poorly at the box office, though. Maybe it'll do better than they expect. Who knows? And then last, this happened today, I think. Ron Cephas Jones, who played William Hill, and this has passed away. I think it was yesterday. So rest in peace to him. And that's all I got. There's news of the week. Zach, how about the Braves minute? Or do you have something?
Oh, the Braves. Let's talk about the Braves.
They're the new owners of the state of New York.
Whose minute is it?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Are you going to continue, or should
I asked you a question?
It's yours. It's Zach's Brave minute.
Okay, cool. So the Braves. The Braves are the new owners of New York.
Sounds familiar.
They took 2 games versus the Mets. They swept the Yankees. Excuse my cough. That was right into the microphone. We're on the cusp of sweeping the Giants today. Right now, the game is, I think the Giants are up 3-2. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Anyways, the Braves have been playing lights out. Our pitching is back on track, I would say. Other than last night's game, we gave up 5 runs. But besides that, the Braves rotation and bullpen, like our pitching has been lights out for the past week, which is a really good sign because it's something that we were struggling with. And last night, our starter, Chirinos, I don't think he's going to be a long-term option. I think he's just sort of like a body until either Kyle Wright or Michael Soroka are ready to come up.
Yeah.
Which is, I thought Michael Soroka was ready to come up last time he came up, but they sent him back down. But anyways, all that to say, the Braves are on top, first team to 80 wins. They're kicking ass. We are, and we're going to win the World Series. I can say it right now because I just know.
Okay. I hope so. Zach, that's very brave of you. That actually is brave of you because if you're wrong, you're going to look like an idiot.
But that's what the podcast is, so it's a win-win for us.
Oh, perfect. Well, that's very brave of you.
We're idiots.
That's true.
That's going to be our whole marketing.
Hi, welcome to Podcast We're Idiots.
But is it good? Subtitle, We're Idiots. Smaller subtitle, he 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 he.
Perfect. You didn't finish your tagline, though. I said, Zach, that's very, very brave of you.
It's the bravest thing I've done all week.
Good. Do you know what time it is?
It's time for whiskey shots.
Meow.
A shot of whiskey in your mouth because it's Sunday. Whiskey shots.
Meow.
It's time to take a little shot of whiskey.
Meow. You know what's funny is that if we have new listeners who don't know why we do whiskey shots, they're going to be like, why is he meowing?
That's right.
Whiskey was our cat. I say my cat, but basically our cat.
Our cat. I helped name her.
That's true.
I was there when you got her.
Yes.
I just didn't pay for any food or vaccinations or medical bills or anything.
Yeah, that's true. And she lived with me. Right. And Whiskey was the founder of this podcast, and she passed away last year. And so in honor of her, we do a shot of whiskey every Sunday. Well, not every Sunday, but every time that we record, whenever that happens to be. Usually Sundays. Doesn't matter.
Whiskey shots.
And we're back. You ready to do whiskey shots?
Whiskey shot. Hold on. Let me turn it around.
Go Braves.
Go
to whiskey.
Braves.
We love
to
you.
Whiskey. Where can they find us?
You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at But Is It Good Podcast. You can follow us on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, at BIIG Podcast. Follow me personally at Hunter Callahan Music. Follow Zach on Instagram at Zach with an H2, the number, the THA, future.31. You can email us at butisitgoodpodcast@gmail.com, BIIG podcast@gmail.com. I also think that we own butisitgood@gmail.com. We have like 3 emails. Just claimed them all. And please say hello. I think we're doing Gran Turismo next week. We're gonna have a good friend of the pod, Chase, my older brother. He's gonna be on the podcast. Gonna hang out. And yeah.
I have to say, I'm very excited for Gran Turismo. When are y'all gonna go see it?
I don't know. I guess sometime next weekend. I don't know. Why, you want to come?
Can I come?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Are you gonna be down this way?
I can be.
All right, cool. We can do that.
Do you think if Athena met Amos and Addie, they would kill her?
No.
Okay.
You want to try and introduce them?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
All right, we can try. We'll see. All right, well,
and we're going to film it and put it on our Instagram.
Sure, because everyone's going to be so invested.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Look at this face.
She's so sweet. She was very excited to see me last time I saw her.
Yeah, she gets very excited.
All right, Zach, you got anything else to add?
I have nothing to add ever.
All right, go Braves. Let's go watch the game.
Except for spelling things. Oh, she's getting excited. All right, bye.
Okay, bye.
But is it good podcast? Yeah.